Alright, now for the comics I'll be reading for the rest of this month. I think last month I almost want to say I was going to do a video, but I think, yeah, I kept adding them. That's the problem. I kept adding them. And it was more like, well, I finished this one, so I'm going to replace it with that one. And I wasn't thinking to the rest of the month, I was just thinking at that time. Now that, back then, I was like, last month, I was in the mindset that's the perfect way to go about this, because I'm not sure, the month is only so long. And I can only read so many books per day now that I have work 5 days out of the week. So that was my mindset. That's why this month is a bit of kind of a bit risky, what I'm about to do. And a lot of it is because this is a spooky month, so I want to add some horror comics to the pile. So some of these I don't know if I hope I'm gonna get to, but if I don't, I don't. But worst case, what I'm going to do is I probably would just make like a weekend, like next weekend, I just hit it hard, like hit it like a relapse, or something like that, and or I will take out some books, the library books. Most of them I can renew. Like actually, I think the ones that are left I can renew 3 times, and I'm on my third time, so I can have it to like December, I think, honestly. So worst case, that's what I'll do. But I'm hoping I get, because the thing is, it's the image books. It's the ones on my PC that I want to add some horror comics to. So that kind of takes, that's more important to me than anything else. Like that takes the cake. But there is one that I do want to finish this weekend. But anyways, let's get on with it. And also, some of these I will have finished by the time I upload this on Wednesday. However, I want to show them all. Like some of these I've already finished in general, like by this time. Now, what I mean by that, well, the image books in my PC, when I do the start of the month what I'll be reading for this month, and then what I'll be reading for the next rest of the month, like this kind of video, it doesn't matter. I'll show all the image books I'll be reading this month, regardless of whether or not I've finished it by then or when I upload it or not. I think it's just a very well organized way of going about it. Now, there is one, I did return Paper Girls, the hardcover, that my library's copy of the hardcover volume 1, because even though I own the compendium, I wanted to read my library's copy of the oversized hardcovers, so that won't be shown. But other than that, everything will be shown. Without further ado, it's a long intro, now let's get into it. First one up is The Walking Man. Now this is primarily the Image Comics writers pile, where every book here is either from Image or written by someone who has worked for Image. This is the exception, because I had heard about this book, because I jump in, the way that some of my viewers will jump in and out of not only my channel in general, but jump in and out of my live streams, I will jump in and out of the Uncanny Omar of Near Mint Conditions live streams. And I was watching it, they just so happened, one of the commenters just so happened to recommend this book. Library had it, so I was like, alright, we're gonna read this book. This is an OGN, but it looks to be pretty quick. Like, I'm flipping through it right now, I don't see very many word balloons. So I might just read this tomorrow. I have to read one of them. Actually, it's the next one. How convenient. So why is the next one top priority? Well, this is Silk Hills by Brian Ferrier and Brian Level. Brian Level has not done anything for Image. Actually, he has done like artwork or edited. I don't know what the hell it was. It was weird. I was looking up on League of Comic Geeks, and it showed books that he was not the writer or artist of. So I don't know what he is. But point is, co-written by Brian Level. Maybe he's co-written some of the books. I don't know. But yeah, this is Silk Hills. Now this is from the there's 2 library catalogs. I can't name the second one because the second one will dox me. But the first one is called Interlibrary Loan. That's what they refer to it as. In emails, I'm emailing the librarian. If I need to specify where I need to renew a book, I tell her Interlibrary Loan. Or the other one. The other one, let's call the other one the better one. The better Interlibrary Loan. Interlibrary Loan, but better. Because Interlibrary Loan, but better, you'll put in books in 9 times out of 10, you'll get it. No questions asked. But Interlibrary Loan, the worst one, the first one, this one. Sometimes, like this one actually came in later. They said at first, no, we don't have it. Then they put it, my librarian, because she's the best, the GOAT, as the kids say, put it in again, and they said, oh, wait, we do have it. Here we go. Literally, basically, what happened. I don't know if that's word for word verbatim what happened, but hey, I have it right now. So whole point of this is that it's more of a pain in the ass to renew a interlibrary loan book than it is to renew a interlibrary loan but better book. Because the interlibrary loan but better catalog also has the convenience of the patron being able to renew the item for as many times as they're allowed to. Sometimes you're not allowed at all because it's just so hot a title, but if it's not like this, I'd be able to renew, no problem. Up to 3 times. So that is why I want to read this tonight. But it looked interesting. I just happened to come across it, and it's also a horror comic. There you go. And you can tell by the back here. Kind of looks almost similar to like just going off the artwork and my interpretation of what's going on in the artwork. It seems to be very similar to a Cullen Bunn book I'm reading this month too, from Image. Very, very ironic. And this is kind of funny because this is from Oni Press, and according to Amazon, everywhere else, but honestly just Amazon, this is 176 pages. The paper stock is so thick that it looks like it's almost double that size. I would say this I would say 232 pages if I had to give a rough estimate. But I think it's it. Okay. What's interesting, written by Ryan Ferrier. Ryan Ferrier, so a little side note here, he took over Rat Queens after Curtis J. Weeb. And that's still kind of, well, it's not uncommon for Image books to do that. It usually is for, like, Tech Jacket and Thief of Thieves and other books, like Witchblade, The Darkness, Spawn-ish. Sometimes Spawn, usually the spin-offs. But it makes sense why like Witchblade and The Darkness would change authors as the series went along, because it's been running since late 90s. Or early 90s, actually. Sorry, not late 90s. No, I think mid to late 90s. I think 96. I don't know. 90s is my point. So obviously they're going to change authors. But Rat Queens, like, that was like, what, 2014 to 2018, 19? With the most recent entry just being a one-shot that completes the series once and for all. I found that kind of weird. It's been kind of funny too. But yeah, I don't know why Curtis J. Weeb left. Maybe he just creative differences between himself. Because Image Comics is independent books, like creator-owned independent books. Like you can do whatever you want to the book. You can cancel it midway through. This next one is also breaking the rule of the Image Comics writers. This one I just so happened to come across in my local library. So the first 2 books you saw, that's Interloans. This is what I got from my local library. Sometimes I don't specify if it's an Interloan book or not. So if I say local library just once, that's Interloans. Local library, say local twice, that's my home-based library. The library I go to. Ironically enough, the library that's also down the street from where I work. So I go there every day. It's kind of nice. Alright, but anyways, this is Fierce, the fucked up fairy tale of an effed up princess. I honestly wonder if they could uncensor the F word there. That's right, too. They did it for the end of the fucking world. Like, wasn't it like the spine was uncensored? It's kind of funny. This isn't. But this one looked interesting. I know nothing about it. Never even heard about it before. I don't think Omar didn't even do a overview of it at all. I don't think it's been discussed on his channel. Looked interesting. It's an indie book. I always usually come out liking them. Alright, now for the huge fat stack of Image Comics titles. The Image books I'll be reading for this month, or the rest of the month. But this month in general. Slots by Dan Panosian. This one is a reread to redeem. I didn't like it that much the first time around. I didn't hate it, but I want to reread it because I feel like I like it more the second time around. Time will tell if I did. You'll see at the end of the month. But written and drawn by Dan Panosian too. Usually I don't go over the writers, but if it's the same writer and artist, hey, I'll mention it. Reason for why that is because this is not a comic haul. Comic haul is different. Comic hauls, I'll tell you the writer, artist, colorist, inker, if applicable, tell you how many issues it collects per trade, show you the interior artwork. Like that's like it's basically exactly what Omar does on his channel, but I do it this way, whereas facing towards me, him, it's POV. I want to try and get a camera that, but I like doing this. I don't think it's that big a deal. That would be like if I don't even know like when I would do that. 'Cause I don't think it's that big a deal. I like doing it this way. If I could find a way to like where I wasn't holding, well, honestly, the way he has it is the way I would want to do it. The thing is, for me, I need somewhere else to film it. I can't be doing it in the bedroom, and there's nowhere else to film videos unless I took time. No, I can't even do that. So unfortunately, until I get a room like he has, where he has like a table and everything, we're gonna have to do videos like this. I don't mind that, and I don't think anybody else does either. But I do have the dream of being able to do overviews the way he does overviews too. But that's a dream. All right. Next up is The Humans, volumes 1 and 2, and I want to double check because I'm pretty sure. Okay, so written by Keenan Marshall Keller. Okay. I'm pretty sure I checked that last time too, but I want to make sure. Oh, this is volume 2. So, volumes 1 and 2 of The Humans. So, funnily enough, so this one is just one I came across a long time ago, and it was like, hey, it's a 2-volume series. Volume 1 is $10, and Volume 2 is $15. So, I get them both for $25. Complete series, perfect. And I flipped through it, and it looked interesting enough. Like, I was like, yeah, it looks something like something I'd want to read. But then I was flipping through the artwork when I first got it, and one of the first pages I came across was, let's see if I can do that. Recreate it faithfully. Probably not, because I don't know exactly where it was. The point was, it was vulgar, and it made it very obvious. I think it was like right here. We're totally getting demonetized here, and I was like, okay. This is Planet of the Apes, but if we're R-rated, maybe even NC-17. Time will tell if I think it's as bad as Sex Criminals, because Sex Criminals still takes the cake for image books, for me at least. That was that sexually explicit, which makes sense. It's called Sex Criminals. But yes, The Humans. Was very very excited to read this one too. I don't know. I thought it's just 2 volumes, but rereading Unearth purely for the fun of it. So rereads fall into 3 criteria. The first one is for Unearth. Just loved it so much I want to read it again, and Spooky Month, so even better. Second reason is a reread to redeem, like Slots, Sandsman for the longest time. And the third criteria is for books like Scalped, where I want to reread it to refresh, because the library finally has the full series. Or, if I ever get down to it, books like Saga and Monstrous. Because they're ongoing series. I have all the volumes in my PC. I want to read it all. And some of them I'll be reading again. Like Saga, it's like the first 2 volumes at least. Monstrous, first 3 that I read. And then beyond that, I don't know. But there's plenty of images. There's a few image books. Actually, there's one here that's a reread to refresh that you'll be seeing soon here. But anyways, Unearth, written by Cullen Bunn. Really enjoyed this one. Cullen Bunn is, I was actually just commenting this on Near My Condition's most recent live stream. Unfortunately, the comment didn't get picked. Just so many people commenting that it doesn't work out that way. The reply to that someone else replied to me, that showed up. So it was like out of context, kind of strange to anyone who didn't know what was going on. But I have mentioned that Cullen Bunn, in my opinion at least, is an overhated writer. At least on Goodreads. Goodreads, like, he has an average of, from what I've seen at least, of a 3 out of 5. And it's strange. And honestly, it kind of paved the road to my not trusting Goodreads as much. To the point where if a book got a 2 out of 5, but I wanted to read it, I didn't care. I was going to read it. I honestly don't even use Goodreads that much anymore. I just go buy off what I want to read. I don't care what people say about it. If I want to read it, I'm reading it. Especially if the library has it. Or especially if I have the money to afford it and it's not that expensive. If it's like a $60 hardcover or it's out of print or something like that, then I'll go by their word of mouth and be like, I don't need it, whatever. Honestly, out of print books in general, whether or not they are critically acclaimed or not, I know I'm never going to get, so I kind of trying to push them out of my mind. 9 times out of 10 that works out just fine. Cause I know at the end of the day I'm not going to be able to read every comic in the world anyways, you know. But yeah, so I really like Columbine. I think it's a bit overhated. Like Unearthed, I really dug. The next one you'll see, might as well think the next one. The next one you'll see, I also really dug. And I just think he's kind of overhated. I think people just take his. I don't know what it is, honestly. And it has to go by taste in general, but I just think, like, my god, every book that he writes that's not Harrow County or maybe The Sixth Gun gets a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, or a 2.9 out of 5, or 2.5 out of 5. It's just awful reviews, and it's people saying, like, oh, it's confusing, and oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Well, that's his writing style. Get used to it. Or just leave. You know, and it's not the same person also. It's not the same 5 people, I hope at least. But it'd be kind of ironic if it were, because it's like, well, you don't like the writer, don't keep reading his stuff. You know, Neil Gaiman is a writer that I really dug his Norse mythology book. That was excellent. But Sandman, I'm split on. I'm 50-50 on it. I like some, again, I'll say it again. 5th volume is my favorite. 6th volume is my least favorite, ironically enough. 5th volume gave me everything I wanted out of Sandman. 6th was everything I hate about Sandman. So, very split on Sandman. I wouldn't even say it's 50-50. I'd say nowadays it's like I would give Sandman overall an 8 out of 10. But nothing above that. And honestly, back in the day, like, you asked me 5 years ago, I would have given it a 5 out of 10. And I would have said I gave up. Now I have since read the entire series 3 times over, going on a 4th sometime soon. And not only do I not mind doing that, but I do like it. Yeah, I do like Sandman. I like it just enough, you know. And maybe I'll even skip volume 6 this time around. Probably not though. But anyways, the next Columbine book, the one that I have read before and also really dug, is Cold Spots. This one was a library had it. I loved it so much I had to buy it myself. And also, the Columbine Image Comics completist in me was like, you gotta buy it. This one I have not read yet though, and that is the one I have left, which is really ironic, is Regression. This is the only other book he did for Image. So volume 1 of Regression, volume 2 of Regression, and volume 3 of Regression. So one book I almost added this month, and I had it there the longest time. It was like, we're gonna read Hardcore again. It was the last book I needed. So Brandon Thomas worked on volume 2. Volume 1 was Andy Diggle. I was like, hey, it's the last Image book I need to reread from Brandon Thomas. Let's just do it this month. But I had to add in Unearthed. So sometimes I'll do that. That's how I pick the Image books. Sometimes I'm like, oh, let's just do all the books by this writer. If it's too much, obviously I won't. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's just the writer has just done 2 series. That's really simple in my opinion. And I don't think I need to explain exactly the reason for why that's so simple. Alright. Next book up is Scott Snyder's Witches. A book I will die on this hill is the perfect independent horror comic to read. Not only is it pretty damn scary for a comic book, at least, like there are images in here that if people like I never would say like a regular novel, horror novel, yeah, imagination gets to you and all that, but that's like I would scoff at someone if they said, oh, this book scared me. Again, not comic book, regular prose novel, words, no pictures. But this is honestly like, if someone said like a comic book gave me nightmares, I'd be like, hey, was it witches? Because this, I mean, none of it really scared me, but like someone like first time I read it, I was like, whoa, that jump scare there. So very effective horror and very effective story too. Like, it needs to be adapted into an A24 horror movie. It'll be one of those critically acclaimed horrors that everyone talks about. Maybe even the next Hereditary. I would go so far as to say it'll be the next Hereditary. They're completely different, but it has that same kind of feel. Like, I have it right here. Who is the, oh, they blocked it. No, they didn't. Who directed this? Come on. Directed by. Where is directed by? I'll know it when I see the name. Yeah, I can't see it. But the director, it's also the director of Midsommar. I'm saying he needs to do that. He needs to adapt Witches. Is the point. But yeah, Scott Snyder, Witches. And now my eyes are all fucked up because I was just saying, because that print is very small and it's like squeezed. It's that movie poster print that they use for movie posters. I like it. I like that font. But trying to read on a small Blu-ray is impossible. Why don't you have the poster if you like the movie so much? I don't buy movie posters. I should though. Like my walls are naked. So funny. Actually, they're not. No, they're not actually. Duh. I do have posters. I have the posters that came with the Wayward hardcovers, Wayward from Image Comics. I have the Invincible TV show poster for season 1, and then I have the mini poster they gave you for the Batman The World hardcover. But this side right here, the opposite side, I unfortunately can't show it, and my iPad doesn't let me do the switching to other camera and then switching back to me. Then I kind of swivel it, but then I have a stupid little AI thing here that I'm actually gonna get rid of right now. I'm stupid. I don't know why I even had it. It was funny for a few seconds, but then it lost. The joke lost when I just knocked these books over. All right, back to the task at hand. So, Witches, Scott Snyder, really good book. Can't wait to reread it. It'll probably be the annual book I read every Halloween. And hopefully by next Halloween, he's done with Undiscovered Country and officially done with Image, so I can really celebrate. Because I'm like, oh, I have everything by Scott Snyder for Image, yay! And then I'll reread Witches. Technically, I do have everything he's done. It's not co-authored, because Charles Soule co-authors Undiscovered Country. Alright. Oh, and why am I complaints, by the way, for Image Comics and not anything, like, it's just Image Comics and not his work in general? It's the way I am. I really can't explain it other than the fact that I am collecting nothing but Image books nowadays, but for budget reasons more than anything, and just, hey, that's the way I've been doing it, and honestly it looks really uniform on my shelves to have everything done by Image. So anyways, moving on. Silver Coin. Also a reread because I loved it so damn much. But there was one, the first issue I did not like. It was by Chip Zdarsky. I just thought it was just kind of like okay. But everything else afterward I really liked. I think there was another one I didn't like that much. But for the most part, these are really damn good. I think Jeff Lemire's story I didn't like that much. I don't know. But volumes 1, 2, and 3 of The Silver Coin. Sorry, 2, I already read my one issue of Silver Coin. Yeah, spoilers, some of these books I have finished. I'm not telling you which ones, though. Silver Coin I've not finished yet. I'm on issue. You know what? I'll say it. I'm on issue 2. I just finished issue 2, okay? There, I spoiled it. Put this back. Oh, you know what I should do? Put that back. I wanna. So the way I put these books is that the volume that I'm on goes right under that Batman poster, and those are the ones I keep there. So they're all stacked one on top of the other, so it's convenient. If I'm on volume 1, volumes 2 and 3 go back on the shelf. Just as kind of like it's a way to save space and it's a way to make that so when they're stacked one on top of the other, it doesn't get too heavy. My shelves are already kind of falling apart. Kind of. Nothing egregious, nothing I need to go make a big scene over, but they're kind of falling apart. Like a year from now, I probably will have to take all those books off the shelf. I don't know anything about it, so let's move on. Now, I think we're on to, I think all the rest of these books are not horror. Except for one. But one of them you already saw anyways. Yeah. Yeah, so if you saw the video at the beginning this month, we're now done with all the horror books I added. Wait, no we're not. No we're not. I take it back. There's 2 hardcovers. 3 hardcovers. Alright, forget what I said. I should. If I had the prop from Men in Black, I'd totally do that. I like that there's just so many things in movies that we know of because they're so iconic, even if we've not seen the entire movie. I've seen bits and pieces of Men in Black 1 and 3, but I haven't finished them. I was told to skip number 2. I do have the second one. I got the doll pack, the 2-pack DVD. Alright. Horizon by Brandon Thomas. Oh, sorry, Silver Coin. Okay, go back to Silver Coin. Let's go back to Silver Coin. Because I did forget to mention one thing. Silver Coin is written by multiple writers. It's for 4 issues, it's a different writer. The 5th issue is always written by Michael Walsh. So 5, 10, and 15, written by Michael Walsh. The rest of them are a different writer each issue. They're one-shot horror comics. And honestly, I really dug this series. And I can't wait to read it again. So, Michael Walsh already said, Chip Zdarsky, Kelly Thompson, Ed Brisson, and Jeff Lemire for Volume 1 of The Silver Coin. Volume 2 is Michael Walsh again, Joshua Williamson, Ram V, Matthew Rosenberg, and Vita Ayala. Michael Walsh also does all the artwork, so it's all done by the same artist. That's for Volume 2. And Volume 3, it's Michael Walsh again, James Tynion IV, Stephanie Phillips, Johnny Christmas, and Pornzak Pachodi. What an unfortunate name Pornzak Pachodi is. Unless he has a good sense of humor, as I hope he does. Because you have to have a good sense of humor if you have a name like Pornzak Pachodi. You almost have to. Alright, so be able to survive that too. Alright, now back to Horizon. Horizon, written by Brandon Thomas. This one I made 0 heads or tails of. So if there ever was a 4th criteria or an honorable mention criteria for my little rereads, it would be to try and make any sort of sense out of what I just read. And that is what I'm doing for Horizon. But I doubt I'm ever going to make sense of what goes on Horizon. All I know is that it's sci-fi and I really dig it. And there's some hints of Terminator in here. The first issue especially. Like the first issue, I was like, my god, they kind of almost ripped that straight out of Terminator, didn't they? Not completely. It's not a rip-off. But you can tell it's inspired by it. So Horizon Volumes 1, 2, and 3. All written by Brandon Thomas. I've not read that yet today, so okay. Right there. Alpha King, just a completely bonkers comic that I want to read again. And it's written by Brian Azzarello. So I was already reading... Oh, and Nick Floyd. I was already reading... Actually, 3 of Floyd's Alpha King. But I was already reading Brian Azzarello's other Image title, rereading, Moonshine. Moonshine is a reread to redeem. Did not dig it the first time around. Did not vibe with it. So this time around, I'm hoping that I vibe with it a lot more. So anyways, we got Volumes 1... 2, 3, 4, and 5 of Moonshine. As much as I did not dig Moonshine the first time I read it, I'll give you this. I did indeed want to get the hardcover. I was thinking in the back of my mind, the same thing with Excellence by Brandon Thomas. Even though I didn't like it the second time I read Excellence by Brandon Thomas, I still said to myself, I kind of want to get the hardcover. Moonshine is just over. It's pretty expensive. Excellence isn't. Because Excellence is 2 volumes. Moonshine is 5. So, makes sense. 3 more volumes. It's going to be more pricier. Actually, I think if you want to get it, like if you don't mind paying over cover price, I think it's about the same price. Ironically enough. Because Excellence was a limited edition hardcover. Moonshine was officially released hardcover. And you can make all the jokes you want about how, oh my god, it failed, so that's why I have to resort to that for Excellence. And Excellence is good. I liked it more the second time than I did the first time around. Still wasn't super crazy about it. The one major compliment I'll give to it is I could totally see, I could totally agree with someone if they said it was the Static Shock for Image Comics. Where it's written by I think it's all black. Yeah, all black creative team. Like every single person involved in making that book, except for maybe the editor, and even then it was the editor too. They were all African American, which I think is excellent. Get it? But all it's just celebrating black voices in comics. But anyways, moving on. And it's also just a damn good book too. Like you could read the entire series without knowing what I just told you, and it's an added bonus. So that's why I would totally say that someone would say, hey, it's the Static Shock of Image Comics. Except for the fact that Static Shock, I think the entire milestone is all African American. I could be wrong. But anyways, next book is Brian Lee O'Malley's Snot Girl. Now this is the one I'm rereading to refresh. Because the library had it, I loved it so much. So I have read once before, I have read Snot Girl Volume 1 going on a second time, read Volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Snot Girl. But this month I'll be reading the most recent volume, and it's Volume 4. They are apparently making a Volume 5. So we'll see. And when I remember saying that Volume 3 ended on a super huge cliffhanger. Time will tell if I said the same thing about Man-Eaters. Ironically, both of which I read recently. I read Man-Eaters the second time recently. Library had it so much. So same thing with Snot Girl. In both the series, I said they end on the cliffhanger. But Man-Eaters, I reread it. No, it didn't. Not even the most recent miniseries. So time will tell if I feel the same way with Snot Girl. It'd be very much ironic. All right. Royal City by Jeff Lemire. I just thought of this book off of a whim. So this is one that the library had like so much about myself, but I upgraded the compendium. It was either get the trades, the individual trades, or the all-in-one compendium. I picked the compendium. Had I been fast enough, or had I thought of it earlier, I could have snagged the oversized hardcover. Almost wish I did, because I remember absolutely loving this series. And why wouldn't I? Because it's Jeff Lemire. I have not read anything by Jeff Lemire I've hated, except for he did one. He actually did for Valiant. His Valiant work, I'm like, yeah. I read one, and I was like, okay, we're done. But Valiant Comics in general is the antithesis to Image Comics. And honestly, as much as this is going to be overselling it and over-exaggerating it a bit, but not really, Valiant Comics is probably the reason for why I, in general, will be like, oh, this indie publisher is really good. I've not read everything by them. And of course, there's other, like, Image Comics. Like, why did I pick Image Comics, not Boom Studios, Dark Horse, or whatever? Right? Why not just continue with Dark Horse? Honestly, the biggest reason is that back in May of 2022, I had realized when I was putting together my birthday wish list, hey, earlier this month, I got nothing but Image books. Let's continue that trend. I have not looked back ever since. But Valiant Comics is the reason for why I will single out independent publishers. Not the writers, but independent publishers. Because you have absolute great, fantastic, holy shit, they're really good writers like Jeff Lemire. And they print out whatever the hell he printed out for Valiant Comics. It was a crossover series. They did. I don't remember what it was called. It was a 4-issue series, I believe. But then again, there was that Vidya Ella series I really liked, and I remember liking the first issue of Bloodshot by Tim Seeley, and Tim Seeley is a writer I don't like at all. So there you go. But nothing. Even then, not too crazy with those series. Still have not made the effort to continue reading the Tim Seeley Bloodshot series. I just got issue 1 because it was a buck. Or it was free. I know it was cheap. Either cheap or free. I want to say it's a buck. Alright. Ghosted Compendium. This is what I was saying. I was like, oh, it's a horror comic. So when I have left, no, we have more than this. Joshua Williamson. Ghosted. This is a reread to redeem, but also spooky month. So it was ironic. Like, that just happened to be that way. But yeah, so going back to Royal City, nah, that's too much. Okay, so, Ghosted Compendium. I just didn't dig it. I just thought it was okay. And then I read Dark Ride, and honestly, I kind of wish I had read Dark Ride when I read Ghosted and read Dark Ride, because I read Dark Ride this month, because that is like so damn good. Like, you could tell like he was passionate about what Dark Ride is about, but it's about amusement parks. and I didn't even need to know his little afterword. Oh, I'm super into amusement parks, blah 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 blah. Like I would know that just by reading issue 1. That's how great that series is, and it's just really captivating. Like I'm not a huge fan of amusement parks myself. I don't even have a favorite amusement park in the world or ever or whenever. I haven't gone to one in a long time, but I still dug that series, and I think that's already a great advertisement for Dark Ride. So we'll move on. Honestly, Birthright will probably be the magnum opus. I can't say that will be the case, but I wonder if that will. I shouldn't say it will be. I should say I wonder, because Birthright, I dig fantasy, and it's Joshua Williamson. So I wonder if like those will come together, and Birthright will be my favorite comic of all time, or one of my favorite reads of whenever the month is I read it. I can't. Well, if I do, I don't know. I might just do that. So I plan to do this with either Outcast by Robert Kirkman or Revival by Tim Seeley, and I had started on like 48 days before the end of the year. And I just read 1 issue per day, so at the end of the year I finish the series. So I wouldn't even count like, oh, this month I read Revival. Obviously not, because I haven't finished it. That's what I would do. But I might just do that for Birthright. So 50 days before the end of the year, which I know we're not nearing, because 100 days before was September. So we're getting probably close. I will think, but I'll think. All right. Now on to Paper Girls. No, we'll do that after. All right. So this is an OGN, but it's from Image Comics, so I didn't include it as the other OGNs. I want to do all the Image books together all at once. This is, I could have done it last. Whoopsies. Dracula Motherfucker by Alex DeCampi. It's kind of funny I have 2 books have the F word, a censored F word in it. Now, why 2 copies? Well, my copy is just beat up, and it's just the condition I got it in. It was used. It's a pre-owned library book, and I want to do more than anything a comparison, because this is also a library copy. My local it's an interloaned copy of Dracula, my book, by Alex DeCampi, and this is completely immaculate. Yeah, I do wish this was my copy and this was the library's copy. So it's more just like showing off it more than anything else. Like, hey, this is how one library treat their book. This is how the other library treat their book. And so what happens is that third-party sellers sometimes will get an ex-library copy. It's really cool. And I don't mind that this is the condition it's in, because it's an ex-library copy. It's interesting to me to see what library. First of all, what library I get it from. And second of all, like the condition. It's just a nice little time capsule, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I need to explain it anymore. Alright. But this is an OGN, and I'll be reading this on October 31st. That's the plan. And then, wait a minute. This goes here. This goes here. This goes... Good, I got that one. So I'm going to stack these... here. Could you guys tell I'm reading some of these today? I don't know why I even have Regression Silver Coin there. I read the recent issue today. That goes here, second there, and it's just my personal copies. It's there. Okay. Dracula by James Tynion IV. Reread to redeem, and it's Spooky Month. That was kind of a trend after a while. It's like, hey, let's do horror comics, as many as we can. And that's why I have some like Dracula, Witches, Cold Spots. Those ones, it's up in the air if I'll even be able to get on them before the end of the month. I'm gonna try to. I'll make some sacrifices, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. But some of them, like Ghosted, is only 20 issues, so by the 20th, I will have finished. Or on the 20th, I'll be finishing Ghosted. Snot Girl, I started out later, so I think it's gonna be more like the 23rd, 24th of the month. So I'll have that open, those 2 open slots. But the whole point of adding these horror comics is that, save for Ghosted, I want to be finishing off the series on Halloween/October 31st. So I'm doing the math. I'm gonna go to my little calendar and count the days. Because I'm no mathematician. So this one, 4 days. This is 4 issues. So it'll be 4 days before October 31st. So 31st, 30, 29, 29, 28. On 28th, I'll be reading this, starting this, so we can finish it on Halloween. I think it's a really nice little added bonus kind of thing. So, but also I didn't really dig this one. I thought it was just weird. But time will tell if I like it more the second time around. Then there is Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. I figured if I'm doing one of the Universal Monsters Image titles, I may as well do the other one. I was going to add Michael Walsh's Frankenstein. I can't do that. That'll be next month. Honestly, I'll probably watch the Netflix Frankenstein before or after. Kind of nice to do that. I just can't. There's just too much this month. And then maybe at the end of the month, I'll be like, oh, I could have added that one in because I had one open slot. But, oh well. Alright, so then, show those 2 books off. 4 issues each. That is it. So this is, what's it called? Yeah, so it's a Universal Monsters run of comics. I think the criteria is it has to be 4-issue miniseries. And the collected editions will always be oversized hardcovers. It's a nice novelty. 41 minutes. Alright. We're almost done. Alright, now on to Paper Girls. So again, it's just volumes 2 and 3. I finished volume 1, the hardcover, so I returned it. I just felt bad about requesting the entire, all the hardcovers from the same library. So when I finish them, I'll be returning them the next day, basically. Whenever, well, on that Thursday. So when I finish volume 2, hopefully the 20th is Wednesday. It's before Wednesday or on Wednesday. Yeah, it'll be Monday. Duh. So Wednesday you'll be seeing a review of. Wait, no, you won't be. You won't be. Maybe you will. Me Thursday. I'll do that. I don't know, but because this video is gonna be uploaded on Wednesday. I'm not doing 2 videos a day. Alright, anyways. Paper Girls volumes 2 and 3, but if you want to see the entire series all in one, and honestly, like, I read this in the compendium shown here, the library's copy of the compendium, no blemishes after reading it. So, as long as you're careful, I see no reason why getting the compendium is a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. It's all in one. It's all 30 issues in one. And the hardcovers are kind of expensive, unless you get a good deal on the hardcovers through eBay or Amazon, like they have a sale on them on Amazon. I'd say the compendium is the most cost-effective way. And they are coming out with digest size. If you like digest size, do that. But I am against digest size books. Not completely. I get the whole point of them and all that. But I think it's silly. Alright, so now we are done. Oh, Brian K. Vaughan, by the way, writes. Shit. Okay, so Creature from the Black Lagoon is written by Dan Waters. And I really liked Creature of the Black Lagoon, by the way. But Paper Girls is written by Brian K. Vaughan. And Paper Girls is my top 5 favorite comics of all time. That's how much I loved Paper Girls. Yeah, Paper Girls, the compendium, like I said again, it's this thick, and it's, what, 30 bucks? 40 bucks? 50 bucks. And what's funny is that this is 50 bucks, all in one, and then so is, I take that back. The hardcovers are $34.99 each. So already 70 bucks for 2 of them. So, you know, a very list price that is. But yeah, again, Brian K. Vaughan for Paper Girls. Alright, now we're done with all the image books for this month. 2 more books left that aren't image books. I just gotta organize this a little bit better. Alright. Next up, we have Ultimate X-Men by Mark Millar. This is the oversized hardcover, and it is volume 2. Time will tell if I think this is better or worse than volume 1 of the standard-size hardcovers. Or if, wait, no, it's volume 3. Sorry, volume 3 of the oversized hardcovers. Volume 2, so actually it's a better way of showing it, of expressing it. Volume 2, I liked half of volume 2. I didn't dig the Weapon X storyline, but I really dug the storyline after that. I don't remember what it was called. It's whatever Volume 4 is. But this series, time will tell if I like it all, if I like half it, whatever. Then finally, last but certainly not the least, is The Filth. Unfortunately, so I've actually read this book. I super sorry there. I have read this book so many times that I think I've read it from every library that has it, like the Angelone libraries, whatever. So I know for a fact that they had the dust jacket here. So very disappointing that the dust jacket's gone. But still, whatever the case, I get to read The Filth again. The Filth is just Grant Morrison, just peak Grant Morrison. Not peak as in the best things that are written, but peak Grant Morrison in the sense that everything that is Grant Morrison, like all his tropes are in there, for better or for worse. But that, as they say, is that. A nice stack of comics I'll be reading for the remainder of this month. I did tell you guys all the authors. Alex Campi. So one little tangent. So this, I did say it was by Alex Campi. Nice, I did. All right. But brief little tangent on Alex Campi. I did mention this. Yes, she did murder Ed Piscor. Yes, I do believe that. Yes, I will die on that hill. Because she bullied him to death. Like she was part of the reason, not the full reason, but part of the reason that she Ed Piscor committed suicide. All because of Twitter bullshit. But anyways, more lighthearted shit. Halloween day. So Halloween, will I be doing my any sort of Halloween special? Yes and no. My Halloween special I'm going to count as all the Image books I've read this month. But that will probably be uploaded on November 1st. So I'll be doing a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror thing where I do it later than Halloween. But whatever. If the Simpsons can get away with it, so can I. That's my that's what I gotta say about that. But anyways, that is as they say is that. I cannot wait to read all these books. None of these books I'm dreading reading, except maybe Ghost 6. I didn't like that much the first time around, but nice fat stack of comics to read. And even then, Ghosted, like, it's a good. I wouldn't say it's awful. It's just it felt like it was undercooked. The way I explained Ghosted was the way I will explain Slots, and it's the way I explained it at the beginning of the month. So it's not my saying, this is how I felt about Slots the most recent time. No, this is how I felt about Slots the first time I read it. So, but Slots and Ghosted, I could tell was written very early on in both these writers' careers. Slots, I'm not Slots, as far as writing, I'm not 100% sure, but artwork, no. Dan Panosian has been around for a lot longer before Slots. But I could tell it was one of his first outings. Like, without him even saying it, I could tell. It has that feel of that amateurish, you probably could have done one more draft, but you published the second draft rather than the third draft. That's how both Ghosted and Slots felt to me. At the very least, it was that. They could have been doing it for a infinitely more longer amount of time than that. But at the very least, I'll say that it felt like they could have done one more draft and been good. I'm getting called down because they want to keep fucking interrupting, so I'll end it here. Wait, we gotta make it 50 minutes. No, well, they can wait a minute. But pretty soon here, I'll be uploading. I'll be ordering the books for October. Unfortunately, I can't make them all horror comics or whatever because there's just so many books that are they're new volumes. Like new volume of this series is coming out, and so on and so forth. I honestly don't know if any of them are horror comics. I didn't do that on purpose. I wouldn't do that unless I had nothing. Unless I was like, well, I got nothing to get, so let's do a bunch of horror comics. Let's see what Image Comics has for horror comics. I don't have already. I don't go for that kind of trend. I just go for, hey, what's on my shopping list? Because it's just so, because the new releases, more than anything, new releases, I am like stuck behind. Like, there's at least 5 books per month coming out that are already on my shopping list, or already on my shopping lists, either in here or on there, technically my phone. So in here or in here, and it's just like 5 books per month, like for at least for the foreseeable future, and it's just for Image too. So just goes to show how in depth Image gets, and how you can just buy books from one publisher and have it be perfectly fine. I mean, it's also the thing of me being a completist. Like, cool, I got Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, the entire run. Well, there's 50,000 more issues of Wolverine I need to get after that. And I also want Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, Superman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Birds of Prey, and then all these Image books too. And all these indie books too. All these books from Vault, Dark Horse, Aftershock, Image Comics, Boom Studios. So it's just a way for me to be like, no, we're doing it this. Now, of course, as you saw, if it's from a local library, I don't care. It's whatever I can get my hands on for the library. And so that's how I do it. And if there's digital sales and I have some money for left over to buy some digital books, there you go. But that's not as often. But that is that. But yeah, that's sorry. What I meant to say is that there's digital sales. It's everything. Actually, it's everything but Image. If I have to, I'll put Image books on my Kindle. But I like it to be hard copy, floppy if I have to. But that, as they say, is that.